Hi, welcome to another episode of Comma TV. Now, you might not want to hear this at the start of November, so I'm just going to come out and say it. Christmas, it's coming. If you have got sales campaigns in mind, marketing campaigns for the run up to Christmas, over Christmas itself, maybe January, whatever suits your business, then it's time to start thinking about it. If you haven't planned anything yet, you're not alone. Shopify Plus did a survey of big retailers, so 10 million plus a year revenue, and they found that 25% of them don't plan their Christmas campaigns until the last quarter. So you're definitely not alone if you haven't looked at it yet, but now's the time. Now, last Christmas, I worked with a retailer and we boosted their sales by 80% on the previous Christmas. We did that with an email campaign. And I had a look at what we did and I picked out what I thought the three most impactful things we did were so that I could share them with you, and you can put them into your own campaigns. So number one, the first thing we did that I think made a big difference this campaign is that we warmed up the list before we started our sales campaign. So this was a list of previous customers, but they hadn't been getting a lot of emails from this business. And so we did some warm-up emails just to kind of re-engage them. No selling, just giving them, it was a local business, so giving them information about stuff that's happening in the area in the run-up to Christmas. And that just warmed them up, and we hinted at the offers that were to come and encouraged them to look out for our future emails, and that boosted open rates throughout the campaign. So that's one thing you can do. A second thing is we use the formula AIDA for most of the emails. So AIDA is a really well-known marketing formula, AIDA. It stands for attention, interest, desire, action. So attention, grab their attention in the first line of the email. So don't start with something really bland like what the weather's been doing. Grab their attention and then make it interesting. Then make the next line interesting and the next line. And then desire, build their desire for whatever it is that you're selling. And then action, encourage them to take action at the end, whatever it is you want them to do, whether it's click through to your website, click a button, give them an action at the end of the email. And then the third thing was we focused on the subject line of the emails. I mean, I always do this in an email campaign, but it might not be something that you look at. The subject line is there to get your email opened. So obviously don't do something spammy that doesn't relate to the email itself, but it doesn't need to be a summary of your email. It's essentially, its only goal is to get your email opened. So think about how it looks when it gets into someone's inbox. Maybe send some test versions to yourself so you can see it in your own inbox. Think about having things like a really short subject line or maybe one that's longer than average. You could do it all lowercase, maybe put emojis in if that suits your branding. Something to make it stand out in the inbox. If you're going to use capitals, maybe for one or two words, but not the whole subject line as a shouty capitals, because that's not great. But test it out and check that it stands out in an inbox, and that will help boost your open rates. So the three things we did, we warmed up the list first. We used the formula AIDA, so attention, interest, desire, action. And we really focused on subject lines, which I would always do in a sales campaign anyway. And these three things, they're things you can use throughout the year, not just at Christmas, but it's a good time to focus on them in any sales campaigns that you're doing. That's all for this week. See you soon.